Hello and welcome on a Tuesday night to Loud and Nerdy. Thank you so much for joining us. We're excited to be here. One of us is going to be late tonight, but we expected that, so it's all cool. And I just want to, my name is JW Colwell, and I want to welcome my good friend and former high school classmate, Jerry Kamora from the band Slapjaw. How you doing tonight, Jerry?
I'm doing well. You?
You know what? I'm doing very well. I was thinking about it. I'm like, I got two solid shows that I'm watching. I got two, really solid things I'm watching. I got movies that are, we got good movies out in theaters. We got all kinds of things going on. It can be, and we're, this is the point of our year where you and I are at, this is spring break for us. This is about to be spring break. For a little bit of business. We will be off for the next 2 weeks. So we're going to take off for the Oscars. We're going to take off and get a couple extra weeks where we just get to chill and think about how the show is going and how we're moving things. And I think it's a good thing for us because it also gives us the ability to, kind of sit back and recharge so that when we come out on a Tuesday night, we're good to go, ready to go, we're happy.
Do some planning in the meantime.
Yes, you discovered this week that you have a lot of movies in your basement. Is what you discovered after we pitched a thing last week that we're thinking about doing. A couple things, again, business. Before we start, if you like our show, if you like watching us, if you like participating with us, and we're going to get to the comments in a second, please like and subscribe at our YouTube channel at the Indie Escape Network. We are over 600 videos deep right now in our collection. So I was advised of that last night by Joe Ridgely, who visited us, the grand poobah of the Indie Escape Network, visited us last night. We also have the Indie Escape Network Facebook page where you can find all of the stuff, and I've been putting things in with regards to movie things that are happening, and just it's a nice, exciting time for a fledgling podcast network with fledgling podcast stars like yourself and me. And we're just, just riding the crescent, riding the wave. We're, of course, waiting for Kyle to get here. Kyle has a meeting every first Tuesday of every month. So we always have to kind of deal with our schedules. Comments. Good evening, friends. Good evening, Ken. Good to hear from you.
Ken. What's up,
Good
Joe?
evening from Joe Ridgely, the grand poobah of the Indie Escape Network. He's super important. But we should have a very good show tonight because we are premiering Jerry's new thing that we kind of came up with on the fly. It was like a weird thing, but it is going to become a part of the show because I did a lot of fucking work on it. So it is going to become a part of the show because I don't just waste my time, Jerry. And this is the logo for your new segment. Are you right? I know you've already seen it, but the folks haven't. So we're going to premiere it right now.
I haven't seen the official.
Oh, it's official. It's official now.
Ooh.
It came from Jerry's basement, with a very foreboding basement and full moon, of course. Also in 3 dimension for your viewing pleasure. Although not everything's going to be in 3 dimensions. We're going to be premiering that later on in the show before we do. I was busy. Before we do our patented Twilight Zone Redux. Look at that. New logos for everything. And if Kyle ever does his homework or shows up or wants to start a segment, we will have them. We will have some sort of nice kind of thing for him as well.
I already jumped ahead and did next week's homework too on that.
There you go.
I got hooked on it. I couldn't help it.
I got to tell you, we have I was looking through. There's 38 episodes in the first season. We should get done sometime in 2025 with the first season. But what I'm going to say to you is later in the season, there's banger on top of banger on top of banger.
Actually, I the next week one too. I never saw the one that's next week.
I don't know that I've seen this one either. I was reading the synopsis on it.
I liked it.
I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen it. But I definitely saw the one we have this week that, is easily in the top 10, probably top 5. But also, I think the basis by which you get the generalization of a Twilight Zone ending. This is the one that I think, even in the first batch of episodes, nothing has been definitively a Twilight Zone ending until tonight's episode. It is a definitive ending. It is an ending that is like, God damn it, that's mean.
Mm-hmm.
It's mean-spirited.
That's what makes it great.
Which coincidentally makes it great. But it's also fantastic story time. We'll get to it. Heidi ho. Hey, how you doing, Jasper? Good to see you. But I did want to start because Kyle's not here. We got to start with basic news, and I thought we'd do some quick observations. So first things first. If you're not paying attention, Dune opened this past weekend. It opened big. It had a very good weekend. It did very well. I don't know what to say except theaters around the country are just like, thank God. Thank God we had a movie come out that did so well. And it's a movie that demands to be seen on the biggest screen possible. It's the kind of movie that, you can see multiple times if you're into it. I've seen it twice. I think I'm going to go see it in just one more time. Maybe this upcoming week, because we have 2 weeks off after tonight. So I need to fill my time somehow.
Yep, you can get a lot of material in then.
I can get as much stuff as I possibly can in. But it's a pretty great movie. It dominated the box office. It's, look at the visuals on display in this shot that I have up here. Like Paul Atreides watching the plan to attack the Harkonnen. It's pretty epic. It's well done. It also has if you choose to view it, it really tackles fundamentals with regards to fundamental religion and how religions can kind of skew one way or the other depending on, who's in charge. You know what I mean? Also deals with guerrilla warfare, also deals with, how we tend to, if there's a valuable substance somewhere, we tend to take and pillage what we need. In this case, it's magical space dust. It's not oil, it's magical space dust, and there are giant worms around that can stop you from getting the oil. You know what I mean? Space dust. I'm sorry. But it's just one of those movies. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Can't talk enough about it. Austin Butler's great. So if you have friends that liked him in Elvis, it's not the same at all. There's no Elvis accent. He's chewing on scenery, and there's an entire sequence, Jerry, that's really interesting, filmed on the homeworld, the Harkonnen homeworld, that's done with an infrared camera. So everybody looks black and white. The sky looks black and white. The buildings look black and white in a weird shimmering way that's not natural. So it's it's about a 20-minute sequence where they basically go to the Harkonnen homeworld, and just Austin Butler goes to town, killing the last of the Atreides house. Unbeknownst to him, of course, Paul is causing all kinds of trouble on Arrakis. So it's a pretty great role. You got Josh Brolin also back. It's really well done. A couple surprise cameos I'm not going to give, but they did a really creative thing that was in the book that they basically was never going to happen on screen. And so they fixed it so that it could kind of at least portray this particular character in a way on screen. So I don't know if anybody else has seen it. the Twilight Zone episode should end with a commercial for 1-800-CONTACTS.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about, there's stuff in the episode where I'm just like, my dark self is thinking like, if your spectacles are that thick, I mean, you should probably be traveling around with 2 pairs.
Damn things have fish in them. They're so thick.
I swear to God, you can see. It's a black and white episode, Jerry, and you can see Burgess Meredith's eye color. Like they're impressive. I also thought before Kyle gets here, we do a brief preview of what we have in the month of March, because we're not going to be here. So I wanted to give a little bit of a preview of the movies coming out in the next couple weeks and an idea of what you can expect. Oh, let me change that banner back to the YouTube one for a little bit. Let's see. Okay, so this week opening, we got two. We have this little movie that everybody seems to know. Like, it's a very popular character, although I don't know the rampant need for a Kung Fu Panda 4. But again, everybody likes the character. Theoretically, we might have something to do in a 4th Kung Fu Panda movie. But the other thing about this, I was thinking about, Jerry, if you have kids right now, there haven't been any kids movies since November.
You're right.
You know what I mean? So even if this movie is complete trash, right? Even if it's complete garbage,
It's still a kids movie.
It's still a kids movie where kids get to eat popcorn and go with their brothers and sisters or go with their friends, and
they're actually not bad. I mean,
they're not. The Kung Fu Panda movies aren't bad. That's the thing I'm saying, though.
Like them, I've seen them all because of them. I mean,
right? But do we need a 4th one, Jerry?
No, you don't necessarily.
I was thinking about it, like four movies deep on kids movies. I mean, we're talking Toy Story and Shrek. Those are like, and
Cars.
those are.
Did Cars make it?
No, Cars only made it to 3. So, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, we're talking Toy Story and Shrek, and I just don't know if Kung Fu Panda's on that level. But again, we haven't had a kids movie. Now, there's another kind of kids movie that's coming out that's not great for kids, but there's this horror film coming out this week also called Imaginary. I don't know. I have rules, Jerry. You know my rules. It's a PG-13 rated horror film. So that means to me...
Let's grab the youth and bring them into the theater.
But it also means that I'm not going to get out of it what I need out of it. I need to be terrified. I need some amount of bloodletting. You know what I mean? Like,
looks like a jump scare.
It looks like a jump scare movie, and that's fine. So I don't know. I don't know about that one, right?
They should put like that Ted in that role. Then
yes.
It would be rated R, right? I'm gonna kill you, you asshole.
You son of a bitch.
Right.
Well, if Ted was in it, we know Kyle would go see it. So we can make fun of him.
Unless
He's not here.
Black and white and made in 1959. Just saying.
Then he won't watch it. I want to talk about the 1959 thing because we're 8 episodes in on the Twilight Zone, and one of the things that we're going to talk about later is it's the first episode where there's ample amounts of discussion of suicide that I don't think you saw in the air in 59. Also a questioning of what actually happens if I commit suicide in an ungodly situation. I'm sure I will be given a pass from the Judeo-Christian rules of suicide. Surely it'll be okay, but we're going to talk about that.
Yep.
We also have this movie coming out called Arthur the King. This movie worries me on several levels. It's a dog movie. It's a dog movie with... I just laughed saying it's a dog movie with Mark Wahlberg in it. Okay? And basically it's Mark Wahlberg's latest film based on a true story. And it's, it might be one of the movies where the dog dies.
Oh. It's not going to be like Turner and Hooch.
I don't know. Basically it's an ambitious racer aiming to win like a competition that's climbing, biking, kayaking with his friends. And along the road, he meets a dog that saves his life. And the dog follows him for 400 miles during the race. So I don't know what kind of movie it's going to be, but if you're telling me the dog's going on a 400-mile race, Jerry, that leads me to believe the dog's not going to make it.
I followed you to the end. Now I'm going to collapse.
Now I'm going to collapse, and theater's going to be in tears. Let's see. We got a comments. Poe has 2 TV series. Wait, actually, doesn't he wear similar glasses in Grumpy Old Men? He might. He might wear the same glasses. Wouldn't that be a fucking trip if you can find that out? Poe has 2 TV series. I realize that, but 2 TV series and 4 movie TV series get made on major motion picture animation all the time. But 4 movie kids franchises, very hard to find. Very hard to get past 2. Trolls is only up to 3. After Marley and Me screws the dog movies, Where's Benji? Yeah, I think, dog movies are hit or miss for people. Like, most people don't want to go to a theater and, like, bawl their eyes out about a pet they had in their lives because they're watching a movie with a pet that died. Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, everybody wants, like, Homeward Bound, where they come back in the end.
So... they make it home, and the cat's with them.
The glasses aren't the same.
You got Kung Fu Panda. You got Kung Fu Panda Imaginary on the 8th. You got Arthur the King on the 15th, and then on the 22nd is where shit gets real for the most part. Because we have this movie coming out called Immaculate. Now, I don't know anything about this girl. I haven't watched the show on HBO with Zendaya and about like the teenagers. I just haven't gotten into it. It's just something where I'm like, I feel like a creepy uncle watching that shit. But Sydney Sweeney is making her name. She's, she was in Anyone But You this past Christmas. She just hosted Saturday Night Live for the first time, and she's currently working very hard with Glenn Powell. But she has a movie coming out. It's called Immaculate. It's a horror movie. It opens March 22nd. It's set in a convent. And basically, she's warmly welcomed into an Italian convent in the countryside. Despite everything going well, she suspects that her new home harbors dark secrets. I'm a sucker for some good convent dark secret movies. Although, for you and I, Jerry, that's a totally different kind of movie that used to be on Cinemax
I was just going to say that.
in the 70s.
I was just going to say that.
But, this movie
there
looks interesting.
There were some pretty good ones.
There were some pretty good ones. This movie looks interesting. She's kind of got a thing going on. She's maybe got it with regards to beauty and... So I don't know what's going to happen here. The dog scene in Michael, damn them. Yeah, dog scenes are brutal. I just don't think it's a good. Like, I think dogs should be left out of movie. I don't want the dog to die is the rule I have. I try. Like, I felt bad. You know what dogs I feel really bad for? The thing dogs. They're like, that's the worst. The one or two that bite their way out of the cage, Jerry, get put down 5 minutes later.
Yep.
They get drugged and killed. But Immaculate looks like it might be interesting. It's got dark things going on. I don't know what's going to happen there, Jerry. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's not going to be the 70s. We know that.
We know that. Then I don't know, Jerry. I was looking at it right. Then the 22nd gets interesting. There's a tiny movie coming out. It's little, Jerry. I don't know if you've heard of it. I don't know if you've heard of the original. This movie's opening. If theaters weren't back with Dune, I feel theaters will be really back when Ghostbusters hits. because I really think that they've done such a good job since Afterlife, right?
Yep.
With the crew they have, with Paul Rudd and, you know, everybody in the new one, right? I feel Afterlife did such a good job of bridging two generations, right? And I feel it's got so much goodwill built up that I feel this is just going to be one of the bigger hits of the year. I think it's going to, and if it's good, like I was thinking about this, it doesn't, for it to be a hit, it doesn't have to be good, right? But if it ends up being good, then it's a bigger hit.
Right.
Plus we get all three living Ghostbusters back, plus Janine Melnitz. There are rumors running rampant that there might be a Louis Tully sighting. You know, if Rick Moranis were to come back, I think people would lose their goddamn minds. Plus, it looks, you know what's interesting, Jerry? In watching the trailers and looking at everything, doesn't it feel like an episode of the show? Like the animated series? It feels like a really...
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Like a double episode of the animated series where they have like super cool ghosts, an overlord ghost that kind of causes fucking trouble. And, you know, and then, you know, he's got to get put in his place, Jerry. He's got to get put in his place. Okay. That opens on the 22nd. And then, you know, because theaters have waited for months for material, right? Then we get this on the 29th of March. Then we get them together again, fighting horrible things, and it's clear they're on a team. My one friend made the joke that it looks like when they're running in the trailer, it looks like they're running from an explosion in a buddy cop film.
Yeah.
And I'm like thinking about it, right? Like I think he viewed it as an insult. But the more I thought about it, I'm like, if you put Godzilla and Kong in Lethal Weapon,
yeah,
I'm there. That's an easy sell for an entire generation of.
Which one of them gets stuck on the toilet with the bomb?
I think it's clear Kong is the Murtaugh.
Murtaugh, yeah.
I think Kong is the Murtaugh. Godzilla's the nut. Godzilla's the one that changes colors, fucking fires laser beams at people. You know what I mean? Land, think about it. Kong's got like the old time weaponry. Like he's like, you know, it's like Murtaugh with like the revolver.
Yeah, the revolver, right on.
Godzilla doesn't need shit. Riggs doesn't need anything.
And his daughter does condom commercials.
Yes. Cops are, Lethal Weapon 2. Lethal Weapon 2, the rare sequel that's better than the original.
I'd say, yeah, I could agree with that.
You know what? I love Lethal Weapon, and Lethal Weapon does have Gary Busey, and a great Christmas Eve lawn fight that you just don't get in movies nowadays.
Right.
But Lethal Weapon 2 has, like, the South Africans are scumbags.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
They murder that girl, like, viciously, and then you find out that Lethal Weapon 1 has been tied together to Lethal Weapon 2. Because it's like, you were supposed to die in the car accident, but it was your wife behind the wheel. And you find out, holy shit, they killed his wife. And you're like, as you're sitting there in the theater in 1989, I think we were 15, right?
Yeah.
You're sitting there in the theater, the bad guy's doing the whole exposition. You know, I was trying to kill you, but I killed your wife. And then you start to think, like, as a kid, you're sitting there going, this motherfucker's gonna die.
Yeah,
I don't know what he thinks he's doing here, pushing him into the water. But this isn't gonna work.
You don't talk to Riggs like that. He's gonna kill
you.
He's
gonna kill you. He's gonna rip your fucking head off.
He's not.
Also, very rarely was it that well done in an action movie that they set it up because they set it up for you that he's gonna push him in the water. But they set it up so perfectly in the script where they're doing the money thing where he's like, oh, you shouldn't have bet him to get out of the straitjacket.
Yeah, right.
They set it up so perfectly We don't get action movies that good anymore.
No.
We just don't. But we're getting Kong versus Godzilla to end the month. So theaters should be swimming in loot. Also, I know what the popcorn bucket's going to be for Ghostbusters. It'd be funny if there was a Godzilla popcorn bucket to go along with this one. Like you could just stick a schlong into the sandworm.
The Kong dong.
Either one comes with fully adjustable for the sandworm. But that's March. Theaters have been waiting a long time, Jerry. They've been waiting a long time for movies to come out. You know what I mean? And this is that's a good lineup. You got a kids movie, you got a teen horror film, you got a real horror film, and then you got two heavy hitters. I don't know which one's gonna the Kong Godzilla fight. I don't know which one's gonna come out of the fight with Ghostbusters. I don't know what's gonna happen there. But they did move Ghostbusters up and Kong back, so it was we don't know what the fuck we're doing. What else? There was news this week. Let's see. Oh, we got 6 comments now. Let's see what we got. We can't watch oh, wait, hold on. Convent with only 1 jar of Jewish pickles. We can watch a dog dying movie. We can watch 100 people die on Friday the 13th. Yeah, of course. Yeah,
absolutely.
They're dumb. They're stupid people. Very rarely, by the way, very rarely does Jason kill a dog. Michael, don't leave your dogs out on Halloween, kids. Michael will kill a fucking dog if it barks at him the wrong way. Sorry, just got home. No Grand Poobah here. Lava Comfort Penny is ingenious. Spring break is coming for all the kids. Yes, including us. Godzilla's arms have gotten longer. Yeah, he's been in hibernation. He's been in hibernation. Also, they need to sell more toys. Is the reasoning for the pink and the purple. The reasoning in the movie is he's going to be in hibernation since the last movie, and he's upgrading, he's evolving into a different color. But if you're smart at home and you see all the toys on my wall and in my room, it's to sell toys. It's we don't want to have the same Godzilla. He's got to be different, a little bit different. Kong also changes a little bit because he gets cooler shit in this movie. He's got the Thanos gauntlet and shit. Dreamscape. Ooh, Dreamscape.
I have that Godzilla standing there. Can you see it?
Yes! Is that the one that fires its arms?
That's the one.
That thing's worth money.
1978.
Godzilla's arms have gotten longer. Let's see. Well, Kong doesn't have a tail, so... Yeah, but that doesn't... He's got gray hair. Do you get tree-falling iguanas down there? We do. We have... It was on last week tonight with John Oliver. They did a whole thing of... They were showing all of our people. We don't have any specifically in our area, but we have seen them. And a couple rules, if you're visiting and iguana falls near you, don't help it. Just keep on walking. Shut your fucking mouth and keep on going. Because when they wake up, they're fucking annoyed and terrified. And you will get something clawed out of you. Kyle Defina says toys. Wait, Kyle Defina is making comments and he's not showing up? The fuck?
Maybe he's driving.
Oh, he could be driving. But again, if he's driving, he shouldn't be making comments. That's dangerous, Jerry.
You can hot text, right?
Can you? Do you think he's figured that out?
I don't know.
No, come on. We can't even get him to watch a Twilight Zone. Will the new Godzilla toy have the firing hand? No. No, but he will be purple and he will be screen accurate. That's all we can ask for is screen accurate toys, right, Jerry?
Yeah. That didn't always happen, right?
No, she was terrible. I think it's
Same
funny.
thing with masks. I have this Freddy Krueger mask up here, and no.
No.
It's from the 80s. It came out around the time of the movie. And
can we put something into perspective? Have you ever seen the reaction?
Superman.
Have you ever seen the reaction toys?
Reaction toys.
Yes, there's a company called Reaction. Hold on. I'm going to take give me a sec.
Like Jeopardy.
There you are.
Ah, Joe, you had the 78 too. The fist is the hardest thing to find.
Okay.
They get lost all the time.
So, what I'm going to say to you is, this is a company that sells toys strictly marketed to you and I, or people our age. So, I'm going to hold it up.
Okay. Oh, I've seen that stuff. Right.
So, yeah, this is a Goonies toy. This is Mikey. He comes with the little key. But this is how we used to get toys. And you'll look,
right.
The Reaction, the name of the company over here.
I see it.
It's supposed to look like Kenner, right? It's supposed to look like Kenner. Now, here's what gets interesting. So, you and I bought toys like this when we were kids, and this is something I haven't opened, but it's a crappy toy, right? It doesn't even really look like Mikey. Data doesn't actually look like Data. You know what I mean? Like, and he comes with the tooth,
right.
He comes with the thing he flings into the guy's balls, which again doesn't really look like anything. Okay, these toys are sold. Let me get a guesstimate from you on how much Reaction toys are.
Oh,
a cost of one
just judging on that.
One figure. How much is one figure?
One of those figures probably at least $40.
Oh no, that's too much. They're 20.
Oh, okay.
They're 20.
I was off.
But I was thinking to myself, like, as I bought it because I hadn't seen them, and I love the Goonies, and the backgrounds are nice. Like the side panels are nice, and the back has like a nice little Goonies thing.
They're almost as nice as GoBots were.
Yes, but they do this. It's Funko. It's part of the Funko company, and I was thinking about it. They specifically pick on my nostalgia. It's because I remember paying like what, $2, $3.
Yeah,
for a figure.
Sticker. They used to have the orange sticker on them and stuff.
Yeah, for the figures, right? Okay, let's see. I had the 78 Godzilla, and our new dog at the time ate the Flying Fist Christmas Day. She ate the Snoopy from my Snowball Cone machine the same day. It wasn't a great Christmas. Well, for the dog, it was. The dog ate some cool shit.
Yeah, but
Red light comments. You son of a bitch. They vibrate. They do not vibrate. That was just me shaking while I was realizing I spent $40 on completely terrible figures. Years ago, a coworker was looking for the Sequest Dolphin, but $200?
What?
Sequest, there's a show nobody talks about.
Right.
Well, because that kid killed himself. So, like, nobody wants to talk about, like, one of the things that I've realized is Gen X, right? Because that's what we are, Jerry. As Gen X, we don't whine about people we lost. We just move on. And if something tragic happened, like, there are a few things, like tragic scarrings, like River Phoenix dying was tragic, right?
Yep.
Heath Ledger to a certain degree, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But we don't talk about, like, during the 70s, 80s, and 90s, all the kids that got ground into a meaty pulp and just spit out for our entertainment purposes. I think what was his name? Jonathan Bendis? Or how about this one I know you know? The Voyager show. Remember Voyagers?
I love that show.
That was such a good show, but he passed away.
Yes, he did.
By suicide because he couldn't get another role after playing a cool time traveler. That's a show they should reboot the shit out of that show.
Well,
because
they kind of did in a way, right?
Sliders.
With like Quantum Leap.
And Sliders.
Yeah, I mean, somewhat, right?
But yeah.
It's sort of like Highway to Heaven, and then Touched by an Angel was Highway to Heaven.
Degen X.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. No, I just think we watched a lot of people got chewed up and spit out. I just think we kind of like, I think that's why we're so nonchalant about things now. We're like, whatever. Yeah. You guys should fight. Like, boomers, millennials, you guys should go. Just scrap. We'll just sit and watch and drink some beer.
Well, and add lighter fluid to it.
just watch we'll make a fire thing around you. It won't be. We're not trying to burn you. We just need a place to fight.
We just like to watch it happen, though.
Punky Brewster's brother stars in it. Let's see. Sliders was awesome, and then he wrote Punky. That's okay. Last night we found out Joe got into a fight with Ralph Macchio. True, I'm not lying. I wish I were lying. Joe got into a fight with a young Ralph Macchio in New wherever the hell Joe saw him. I shit you not. I was like, Joe started telling the story. We're like, what? Yeah, apparently he was at Friendly's in New York, and he asked a young Ralph Macchio. And again, this is a good story for the network. He asked a young Ralph Macchio for an autograph, and was told something very unkind. In '83, so it was a year before the Karate Kid, but after Outsiders. Joe, did you used to watch My Secret Identity?
No.
Joe wrote Friendly's on Huntington, Long Island. So I do like that Joe just confirms it. Like, yes, definitely was Friendly's. I was like, did you call him Pony Boy or something? Did you? Because Ralph Macchio didn't seem like an angry youth.
Keep being a jerk, Pony Boy.
Crane kick is illegal. Also,
his leg.
You should get him a body bag, Johnny. I think it's funny that Joe is like now running a podcast network and Ralph Macchio is still the Karate Kid. Anyway,
now you got to have him on.
We do. We should.
Like, hey, remember me?
I was a child and you ruined my life. Tell that to Poe. Yeah, Poe uses all kinds of illegal shit. Poe, the Kung Fu Panda, cheats all the time. Couple things, some newsworthy events of the week. Things came out. First Looks came out. How do you feel about Tron? Do you like Tron, Jerry? Are you a Tron fan?
I liked Tron. I mean, I saw the newer one too, but the old one was, for its time, was great. And when I went to Disney, I did find one Tron helmet there in a case. They didn't have anything else.
I'm not going to lie to you. Going forward, you will not have any trouble finding stuff for Tron, because there's a Tron ride now, right? They have so much. Yeah, the biggest, hottest ride at Disney is a Tron ride. It's amazing. It's incredible. It takes forever to get on, but it's amazing. And they have Tron merch now. But one of the things that came out this week was first look at Tron Ares, which is the latest Tron movie. I think this looks cool as shit. And then I started reading the article that this picture was attached to, and I found out that Jared Leto's in it. And I was like, I immediately my heart sank. And then this came out this week, as well as a major announcement about the title of said movie. So Superman Legacy is Superman Legacy No More. And this is the new Superman logo. I fucking love this S. It has a Kingdom Come kind of feel to it, but it also, what I like is that it doesn't look like it's spandex. It looks like it's a heavy duty fucking leather armor kind of S. And It's just called Superman now. Just Superman. No Legacy, just Superman. That movie is not coming out till July 2025. That is officially my I hope I don't die until July 2025 movie of the year. Just want to keep my body up till I get to Superman, kids. Let's see, what else we got? I auditioned for the toy shortly after the Machio incident. True story. Oh. Yes, you lost out the role in the toy. Yes, this is another Joe Ridgely very famous story.
Great movie too.
The Toy's a great movie. Jackie Gleason's so fucking miserable in it. Oh my god, he looks like he looks like the material's beneath him, and he doesn't want to be there, and it makes all the material that much better. Because he's just like, I used to run fucking television, and he's like, now I'm doing shit with Richard Pryor, acting like he's a toy in a fucking box. That's the end of my career. I was in 2 Smokey and the Bandit movies that made $1 gajillion in the 70s, and now I'm stuck. I'm stuck doing this shit.
I love when they're driving the cars and he stops right in front of Jackie Gleason and he goes, "What are you doing, you asshole?" He says it just like that. Oh, and then they're in the pool.
Speaking of assholes.
Oh, it was so good.
Hi, Kyle.
Oh, what a fucking intro that was.
Woo! That was perfect. Okay, I'm gonna put you where you need to be.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
Wow. That's not what Segway School taught you. But
remember Gus G is the Flash and Superman. Gus G.
My grandfather always used to get mistaken for Jackie Gleason.
Really?
Yeah. If I could find a photo right now, I'd share it, but I don't have one handy.
Well, that's cool. How was your meeting? How are you doing?
Life's wonderful.
Wow, that sounded terrible. I'm not going to bust your balls about anything. Yeah. We are premiering a new segment. You, of course, are invited to come up with your own segment. I will build you something nice, too. Did you see what I built? Did you see?
Nope.
Look what I built for Jerry. Where is it? There it is. Oh. It came from Jerry's basement. Woo.
I've been to Jerry's basement.
Well, that sounds like a personal.
Eat it out alive.
Did he? Does he? It's like the end of Dead and Buried. He doesn't actually know.
Movie.
That's a great movie. Hard to explain. It's like
it is hard to explain.
Hard to explain that movie. That movie's like one of those weird 80s movies where like even the people that are evil don't know they're evil. It's like, what the fuck? Like there is a conspiracy, but nobody knows about it. So we're talking about things, we're talking about movies that are opening. But you've been paying attention because you're like responding to the goddamn comments, so let's see.
Red light comments.
I want to hang out in Jerry's basement. Everybody does.
Come over whenever you want.
Yeah, Joe's like, I'm in Florida. It gets cold up in Jerry's basement. You got to be careful. That shit's insulated, but it's still.
You can't really hang. It's only like
I got the sweatshirt
5-foot ceiling, so there's no real hanging in this basement.
I'm short. I'll be fine. You'll be whatever. We're talking about new movies coming out. Are you excited about new movies? Are you excited about? First off, do you like the Tron movies? Are you excited about this picture? This is a picture that was released this week. Are you excited about this picture? Because this is like the definitive start of the new DC.
You were like, oh, this looks like a heavy-duty suit of armor. And I'm like, he's Superman. He doesn't need a heavy-duty suit of armor.
No, but what I'm saying to you is it's a change from the spandex heavy lame-o, like Cavill's Superman.
Like Kevlar.
It looks like Kevlar. And theoretically, this is supposed to be Superman's first time doing anything, so who's to say anybody knows what the fuck they can do to, like, maybe he's wearing the leather and nobody knows he's Superman. Like, I don't know. I just think it's a nice pic. Look at how nice it looks. It looks nice. and it's got snow on it. I was telling Rich made a joke. Oh, that means Mr. Freeze is the bad guy. And I'm like, no, it's the Fortress of Solitude, silly. We know we need snow. And I'm like, and then I made the ultimate reference, and I'll see if you boys get it as well. What if it's snow because Superman is fighting some polar bears and some spiders? Which of course is one of the great movie stories of all time, where, basically John Peters wanted Kevin Smith to write a movie with giant spiders fighting Superman and polar bears at the Fortress of Solitude attacking Superman, at which point Kevin Smith leaned over to John Peters and said,
I already made Dogma.
Well, no, why would the polar bears guarding Superman's Fortress of Solitude fight Superman? Why do we need spiders? And of course, the other end of this story is John Peters would later make a movie called Wild Wild West, which was one of the biggest bombs in the history of bombs. And what's the end villain in that movie? A giant fucking mechanical spider.
Yeah.
Motherfucker. Okay, well, it is time now for our first edition of It Came from Jerry's Basement. I think I'm going to introduce it every week that way. It just sounds cool. Like, it sounds like it's super scary and super important. And I'm all for that.
But it doesn't always have to be scary.
It doesn't, but the rules of this are Jerry is picking a movie that first off, we're going to change the rule a little bit. We're going to pick a movie that's fully accessible. And then we're also going to pick a movie tonight that is not accessible, but you're going to have to trust us on, and you might have to spend money to see it. But it's a pretty great movie, and I know, and because Jerry told me what we're picking. So, Jerry, do you have the boxes there? Or we're going to do, like, you hold up the box and then I'll put up a thing?
Sure.
What is the first movie that is widely available on Pluto and Tubi?
First movie is
for free.
Night of the Comet.
Night of the Comet, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know this movie, you had a bad childhood. 10-year-old me loves this movie. I will also make Jerry's day by doing this. Look at this, Jerry. An original CBS Fox box. Oh, CBS Fox box. Also, I will help. Look at this, Jerry. You ready? I'm going to make your day. A 1984 opening day ad for Night of the Comet. Nice. PG-13, one of the first PG-13 movies. If you don't know the plot of this movie, I don't want to ruin it. Although,
let's put it this way. There's a comet coming past Earth. Everybody's in anticipation of this comet. There's parties happening everywhere.
The only people not anticipating it are two young sisters.
And something goes amiss.
And the sisters are the last people on Earth.
And Catherine Mary Stewart is in it. She was
she's fantastic.
She was in The Last Starfighter, too.
It's a fantastic movie. For a sci-fi comedy in the 80s, it gets 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is high. But it's got real world peril. It's got zombies. But they're thinking zombies, so it's super cool. It's something you haven't seen before.
And they talk.
They talk and they make plans, and they're fucking assholes. But it's got really cool things. It's got particular 80 things. There's a mall sequence that's really great. There's an arcade that plays a very big deal in the movie. And I believe the game is Tempest.
Yes.
Is the game, because it's the game where you had to do around in the circle. Such a great game. But it is a great 80s movie, this Night of the Comet. Some pictures, the sisters, and they're kind of bickering sisters. And they have to learn how to keep themselves alive. Like, one's a cheerleader and one's not. She's actually dating a projectionist. And because of the way theaters were made with lead-lined projection booths, she survives, and the other one survives because I think she's hanging out in the shed.
She runs away and hangs out in a shed.
It's a great movie. It's not long. It's on Tubi. It's on Pluto TV. It's for free. You have another one. What is your next pick for this week's It Came From Jerry's Basement?
The next pick is 1977, The Sentinel.
The Sentinel. Okay. Folks, I'm going to show you an authentic 70s poster. There must forever be a guardian at the gates of hell. She was young. She was beautiful. She was next. You'll notice the cast it's an incredible cast.
Yes.
And Jerry did this purposely, and this is why I love Jerry. But Chris Sarandon's in it, Christina Raines, Martin Balsam, John Carradine, Jose Ferrar, Ava Gardner, Eli Wallach.
Jeff Goldblum's in it, Beverly D'Angelo.
Yep, and Burgess Meredith. This movie, again, we said Amazon Prime for this one, Jerry?
Yep.
This one is very much it is an underrated gem of a Catholic horror film.
Very much.
It's really well done, and these are excellent picks. This one we can't get for free though. This one you have to go to Amazon Prime and rent it. But I will tell you, for your rental, you will get a movie that's very scary, legitimately in league with The Exorcist in its view of the Catholic Church, and also in how scary it is. And also you'll get, and if you're our age and you're a guy, you'll get ample nudity. It's got ample nudity for a 70s movie, R-rated film.
There's a lot of creepy parts. And Beverly D'Angelo.
It's really creepy.
Beverly D'Angelo does something that you've never seen her do before.
Ever. Yeah. It's a fantastic movie. Some comments, let's see. Let's see. Is it worse than the end of Brazil? No. Nothing. Brazil was cut. Right? Brazil should have been better. Do you prefer Kryptonians can breathe in space or not? I believe Kryptonians can breathe in space. I don't know what that is. Kevin Smith, Superman, great documentary. Yes, it's a fantastic documentary. Tell Jerry to send me a small piece of music. I'll make a bumper for his new segment if you like. Ooh,
that's
look at
cool.
that.
I can do that.
Kyle, we got to get you a segment. Night is a real e-ticket for me. It's a great movie. Just sent JW a pick. Unfortunately, I had a bad beard dye. Totally on topic to this. Yeah, I got to figure out what the pick is. Give me a second. Hold on.
Oh,
people sending me pics in the middle of the show. Hold on.
You gotta see this.
Oh, okay. This is a good pick.
Oh boy.
This is a good pick. I'm not gonna lie. Hold on. This is quick. I can do this quick because then we got to get to the most important part of the show. That's telling Kyle he's amazing. Right, Kyle?
Fuck you both.
What? I don't understand, Kyle. Why are you getting so angry? Okay, this is the pick that Joe sent into us. Look at Joe with he did have the bad beard. Catherine Mary Stewart, ladies and gentlemen. So she's been on the network. We need to get her on our show so we can talk about Night of the Comet.
Oh,
that was the first thing we picked in our. I wonder if she would appreciate that. She was in demand. She had a really good 3 or 4, 5 years where she was just making
Starfighter, great movie.
Last Starfighter, she's fantastic in that. I would hope that if she
Bernie's especially.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope if Last Starfighter ever comes back, that she comes and makes a play.
Richard, there's a man in your kitchen. I love that. Richard, there's a man in your kitchen.
There's a man in your kitchen. Okay. So that's great. And then, because you mentioned Burgess Meredith, these are both great movies. Night of the Comet, The Sentinel, excellent first choices for, ready? It Came From Jerry's Basement. Ooh. Not in 3D. Anyway, okay. And now for the end segment of the show, this is my new picture. What do you think of the picture for this, Kyle? Look at this. I worked really hard this week. You've crossed over into the Twilight Zone Redux. And then I put a bunch of episodes that are all like super cool episodes, including the one we're going to talk about tonight, the one we talked about a couple weeks ago. And many of my favorites are right here in this particular picture. I was able to find at least 1, 2, 3, 4.
Is there a Twilight Zone that you don't like?
Yes, there's a couple.
There are a couple, but for the most part, like, I'm going to be honest, like, part of the thing about the original Twilight Zone episodes, and with Rod Serling running the business, they're all well written. Like, I don't know, very few shows have as consistently good writing as the Twilight. Like, we might see shows now that have consistent, like Breaking Bad or Ozark. You know what I mean? Where like the shows are really well written. But the thing about the Twilight Zone is they're telling 25-minute stories. And Jerry will vouch for this. Even the ones that you don't think are good are at least fully functional stories.
Right. Yeah, they're
like,
25 minutes. They have a beginning, a middle,
and an end. And 9 times out of 10, not only do they have a beginning, middle, and end, they have a good actor, they like an old-timey actor that you really like, and then all of a sudden they have a hook. And the hook we're going to talk about tonight, we're going to talk about one of the best episodes in the top 10. Tonight's Twilight Zone Redux, of course, is Time Enough at Last. And this, of course, is the episode that stars Mr. Burgess Meredith as Henry Bemis. And this is the opening narration. Witness Mr. Henry Bemis, a charter member in the Fraternity of Dreamers, a bookish little man whose passion is the printed page, but who is conspired against by a bank president and a wife and a world full of tongue cluckers and the unrelenting hands of a clock. But in just a moment, Mr. Bemis wants a world without bank presidents or wives or clocks or anything else. He'll have a world all to himself without anyone. I think this one is an amazing, and I was talking about this, Kyle, when you weren't here. First off, like, the wife is awful. She is an awful person.
Yep.
Like, she is a terrifyingly awful wife. There is a moment where he finds a book under his chair, and it's a book of poetry, and he puts it in his pocket because he has to go to a dinner party that his wife is making him go to, and he's already told the bank president, who's busting it, like, he's busting his balls, like, we heard you were down in the, like, reading on your lunch break. If anybody tells me what to do on my fucking lunch break, they can go fuck off. Right? Like, I have news for you, buddy. I got something you can read. It's right here. And so basically, so this bank president's shitty. He gets home and his wife is even worse. She's like walking around. She rips the paper out of his hands. There's a book that he has in his chair hidden. He puts in his pocket. Before he leaves to the dinner party, she susses him out. And it's a book of poetry. And he's so excited. She says, Henry, why don't you read to me? And he goes, oh my God, that's the best. Yes. And there's such joy on his face. And he sits down and all the fucking pages are colored over in fucking crayon. And he's like, who did this? And she's like, I did it. And then she starts ripping the fucking book apart. Like, you know, the only thing better for this particular character would be if she had not died in the nuclear explosion that happens later in the episode, and she lived and Bemis got to read to her. I'm sorry, we're 41.
Not for you, though.
Yeah, not for you. Did you watch it? Wait a second. Did you watch?
No.
Okay. But basically, he goes down to read it on his lunch break, and in the world of the Twilight Zone, things are always right there at your grasp. And he reads.
How many of you watched it? I want to know in the chat. How many of you watched it? Say yes, if you did. I know there's a delay, so go on.
So wait a second. Are you trying to lead a revolt of the Twilight Zone Redux?
No. I just want to prove I'm not the only one. I'm not on an island by myself. Thank you, Ken. Ken's on
Ken,
the
I'm
island with the toys with me. Next.
Ken, I'm disappointed. You can be on the island, but that doesn't mean you get any kind of anything out of it. I'm still disappointed.
But Joe didn't do a redux, so it don't count.
It doesn't matter. He saw it before.
I don't know about that.
Counts. That's one for me.
It counts.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. I think the writing in this one is really good. This, and I was telling before we talked about it, right, Jerry, this is where you get the idea of a Twilight Zone ending.
Yes.
Right, because he
doomed, complete.
He has no time. He has no time when he's with his wife and his bank president. The bomb hits and everybody's gone, and he finds the library and has all these books, and he meters it out. He plans it. He has all the books piled up for months on end and years on end. And then he drops his glasses, and they're Coke rim glasses. They're Coke bottle rim glasses. And then the glasses break, and that's the end of the episode. I think it's the basis by which, first off, it's the basis by which we get the idea of a Twilight Zone episode ending. That's a Twilight Zone ending. It is also the basis by M. Night Shyamalan. Anything M. Night Shyamalan, this is the basis.
I will say this. The one next week is similar.
Interesting. Oh.
Yes. It's not. The story is completely different, but that Twilight Zone
but we watched these first... Yeah, we watched these first 7, and they haven't really been... Like, there have been weird endings and different things, but it's not something where we're going... That's something that M. Night Shyamalan saw when he was a kid that he copies. This is one where you go, and we're going to get one later in the season. There's an episode later in the season that is a direct causation of a filmmaker saw this particular Twilight Zone episode as a youngster and wrote a movie specifically with a Twilight Zone episode in mind. And when we get there, we'll get there. And if maybe people can guess before we get there. But there's a filmmaker who is a direct causation and made a very popular horror film that did very well at the box office. And it was the direct result and the direct causation is specifically, I saw an episode of the Twilight Zone as a kid that broke me. And so I had to write something. Let's see. Sorry, Outer Limits fan. That doesn't mean you can't be a Twilight. So wait, are you saying Outer Limits and Twilight Zone fans are mutually exclusive? Didn't you watch?
I like the Outer Limits too.
Yeah, we watched both. Like I don't know.
Star Wars and Star Trek, like.
I don't know. I've never heard that though. I always used because they were on at different time. Like I don't know. Like I think it's like saying I'm a Tales from the Dark Side fan, but I'm not a Twilight Zone fan. I always thought you have to be a Twilight Zone fan to become a Tales from the Dark Side fan.
Or Tales from the Crypt.
Well, Tales from the Crypt is you graduate from Tales from the Dark Side to Tales from the Crypt.
Or the Hitchhiker.
Or the Hitchhiker. Yes, the Hitchhiker. Another
That's
80s.
probably my favorite one.
Another 80s. That's a good show. I discussed it with Leatherface. It counts. Laugh out loud. Sci-Fi Channel would have a marathon on it on New Year's Day. Yes. That's what spawned this particular madness. Yes.
Yeah, I do pay attention.
I do want to. You do. I sort of.
You get 10 points.
I also
put your name on the paper. There you go.
It's a great episode. It ends tragically for Mr. Bemis. The final narration is the best laid plans of mice and men and Henry Bemis, the small man in the glasses who wanted nothing but time. Henry Bemis, now just a part of a smashed landscape, just a piece of the rubble, just a fragment of what man has deeded to himself. Mr. Henry Bemis in the Twilight Zone. Also, I do want to point out, and we were talking about it earlier, Jerry, we do have to hit upon it before we end this Twilight Zone Redux. This is the first episode I think I've ever seen where there's an active discussion of suicide. Also, not only is there an active discussion, he picks up a gun, he's talking to himself. Not only is there discussion of suicide, right, Jerry? There's the discussion of will I get a pass for the Judeo-Christian sin of murdering myself?
Given my circumstance.
Given my circumstance.
Yes.
And so I think
that's okay.
I don't think that was ever on television. And I think, this episode gets a lot of credit for asking a hard question. If you're really, truly lonely and you have nobody else around you, no matter the circumstances, like Henry Bemis. Yes, I'll be. I'm
sure to be forgiven.
I think given the circumstance, I'll be forgiven. Also, Henry Bemis is the least ambitious apocalypse survivor ever.
With the couch.
Yeah,
I do like how the couch was on rocks, though. Like how they propped it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. Also, with the glasses, wouldn't you be like, wouldn't you be caring for them? Like, so I don't know. But it's a great episode. Next week's episode, actually not next week, 2 weeks from now, the episode
I think you'll like
will be an episode called Perchance to Dream with Richard Conte, literary talents of Charles Beaumont, and we invite you to join us for a strange and shocking dream. Perchance to Dream is the next episode.
King of the world, Jasper.
I'm sorry. Give me a second. I'm coughing. We got comments. Let's see. We got 1-800 contacts. We'll find a CVS for reading glasses. There's really nothing left in the episode. There's it's places, but he's king of the world. Yes, but he's about to kill himself again. I think he goes and finds the gun. That's what I think happens. I do want to talk about two quick things before we go. If you're looking for shows, The Regime just started on Max. It's Kate Winslet. It's inspired. It's about an autocrat in a European country. She's paranoid. She's delusional. She's one of the best actresses working the planet. And
is an autocrat a spinoff of an Autobot?
No, an autocrat's a spinoff of Viktor Orban or any of the megalomaniacal crazy people that become dictators. But it's really good. It just started this past Sunday night. There's a thing going around, buzz going around about her. There's an episode, first episode, she sings. Kate Winslet is a very good singer, but the autocrat is not a good singer. So what I will say is it's one of the great acting moments. You have a person who's a decent singer singing badly, which is very hard to do. It's also very hard to play drunk when you're not drunk. But she uses a lot of things to keep people down. But she looks great. It's, it just proves that Kate Winslet is one of our best working actresses right now. She comes off of Mare of Easttown, which is one of the great miniseries we've ever had. She goes into this. She's executive producing. It's funny, but it's dark. And she just outfits. She gets to wear all kinds of.
Oh, hey, now's when the real show begins, folks. We're in Jerry's basement.
Yeah.
So let's get to some comments here. Jasper wants to know: does her singing trump the other girl? Get it? Trump.
Interesting.
That's all you got?
I don't know.
More funny. I'm sure Joe Ridgely had someone about this on the show, though.
Well, we have to throw a shout out to the Fun Times cosplay crew.
You guys didn't do that yet? Because we definitely
we have to throw that shout out because they're promoting the show. It's good that everybody's promoting each other. That's a great thing. We need lots of that.
Yeah. So when he gets back, folks, we just need the chat just swarmed with Howard the Duck comments and how much you love it, especially the 86 Howard the Duck. That's all we talk about on this podcast nonstop. I'm waiting for the screen. He's gone again.
He heard you say duck.
He
heard you say duck, and he said, "Duck, you guys, I'm out."
He said, "What the duck am I doing here?"
Yep.
And this is what happens when none of this is planned. So yeah, next week, guys, I guess we're taking a break from what I'm told by JW.
Yep.
We're on hiatus.
Yep, we're going to take a spring break. We'll gather some more material. I'll get some more movies together.
Wonka does come out on Max, though, this upcoming week. Oppenheimer came out on, what's that, Peacock. So that's available for streaming now. So there's a lot of good movies out to watch or coming out.
I'm waiting to see the Godzilla -1, but I know that's sort of on a hiatus right now from being released. I didn't get a chance to catch it in the theaters. But they're hanging on to it, and I guess there's no release date as of yet to release it on streaming. So
I saw after our show last week, Joe Ridgely actually went out and watched Lisa Frankenstein, and from his comments, he really enjoyed the soundtrack and he enjoyed the movie. It looked like, and I mean, I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was fun time, and just the soundtrack is good, and it's 80s based, and it's definitely. Jasper claims Stars is free this week, and they have John Wick 4. So if you want to see Revenge for a Dog, go watch John Wick 4. I don't know what 4. I mean,
yeah, those movies they're pretty good movies.
John Wicks are fun. I'm sure you guys covered Dune 2 when I wasn't here.
Yep.
Yeah.
He covered that early.
Did he show his popcorn bucket of doom again?
He did.
Were the little tentacle things more messed up than
Oh, he can't get back in.
Yeah, and he's telling us to sign off. He's like, cut the feed. I heard Howard the Duck.
Now we can talk about it.
He's trying to hack in right now. He's going nuts.
Right.
He's probably got Joe. Joe, cut them off. You got ultimate control. Cut them off. Look, no duck.
Look, it even spelled it wrong.
And it's even coming through on multiple
awesome.
feeds. I got it on YouTube. I got it on Facebook. No
That's
duck.
Great.
DC UK. I think that's a clothing brand. He needs to give me access in case this happens. Yeah, I don't even think we can end it, Jerry.
Yeah, I don't. Well, all you got to do is, I don't know. If we click the X, we click the X.
How did this loud and nerdy thing pop up between us?
Well, that's the cosplay.
I know that's a cosplay thing, but who put it there?
Maybe Joe did.
Ooh.
It didn't come from my basement.
I did. Pay no mind to that man behind the curtain. Putz. Really? I did putz. So
he did. Well, that's interesting.
Right.
I guess
so he can do that, but he can't log in and wear the putz. I can end the broadcast.
All right. Well, how was Kyle's vacation?
Kyle's vacation was good. Kyle got pretty good sunburn when he fell asleep on a beach with a Bahama Mama in his hand.
Speaking of vacation, the second week of June, I will be on vacation. But I'll let you guys know that later.
I think you just let us know that now.
I know, but I'll let you know about the details later.
So, Jerry, where can people find you outside of this podcast?
Here, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Look for Slapjaw 1998. Except YouTube. On YouTube, it's just Slapjaw.
And I know you can find JW on all the social platforms under the Movie Guy, Florida. And that Movie Guy. Look for JW. Of course, I'm Kyle. I got no socials, no nothing. JW, the Movie Guy. He is just spamming the shit out of us to get this right. He does not trust us. We are like unsupervised.
We're fine
now. He is going to hit that end button any second now.
No,
we're going to go. Peace.
We're fine.
We're fine. Oh,
hey,
I trust Jerry.
See,
I trust Jerry.
We go back, kind of. But on that note, I guess we could end it. Everybody have a great
guys. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Go see some movies. Go support local theater.
Twilight Zone.
Support the local arts. Support the local scene. Support something going on in your neighborhood. And just be good to each other, folks. Please, it's going to be a fun summer. We promise.
All right.